The following may include subject matters of war, violence, loss, and adult themes which may not be appropriate for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised. Previously on Darkeport. Episode 53, To the Bone, Part 2. The Fellowship and Antigone's crew face off against an oppressor soul, drawn from the spirit and body of Frankus the Pug. Despite a continuous psychic assault, the Chosen acquit themselves well, with an oddly behaving Waya delivering the coup de grace. She does so by whispering Togo to the creature, the Earlit word for pathetic. It's soon revealed that Waya has tapped into an ancestress of hers, the formidable and ruthless Okatla. Among other things, Okatla has taught Waya how to act as spiritual kindling for the birth of something stronger than myself, in Waya's words. The young advisor has struggled terribly with guilt for Jason's fate among many other burdens, and feels she can no longer continue. At the same time, she is unwilling to give up the fight to preserve the dream. Thus, she has found this third path of creating a champion in her stead. The spirit of Okatla decries Waya's decision to transfer her life force into another vessel, divine or not, yet respects her right to make the choice. Waya successfully enacts the ritual, acting as one half of the spiritual spark needed to bring the final divine construct into the world of muscle and blood. Unlike her former companion Nilishli, this construct will be a creation of Talak, the god of rain and the bringer of life. Waya spends her final moments surrounded by those who love and know her best, at least as she is now.
Anyway, friends, thank you so much for joining us tonight for Darkeport once more, where we have devolved into a comedy troupe before we've even started streaming. Yay!
Very serious.
Serious.
We're not here to play.
Where Tobias is
we're here to play.
Where Tobias is regaling us with his top-tier dad jokes. Well, I mean, you're a dad now, so there you go.
He's got permission.
There you go. Quick shout out to our sister stream, Alex and Morgan over in Constructed Chaos. Thank you so much for walking the walk with us and being there. You lovely people. I look forward to seeing you very soon at Gen Con.
That's right.
So that's
days away.
That's really exciting. Yep. It's the end of this month. So we'll be there. If any of y'all happen to be there, come look us up. Me and Corey are going at the very least. So we'll see. And a shout out to Briarwick Candles. Provided us with a wonderful sensory experience over here with Justice, custom made for the stream. We really appreciate you, Miss Kate Glass. You are wonderful, and
she's awesome.
Hope you're doing well after all the tumult that's been going on over there.
Oh yeah.
All right, I think that's it. Yeah. Say.
Patreon.
Yes, do it.
Please do come check us out over at Darkeport Patreon Land Town, where we have many behind the scenes post-session debrief, talk back conversations, original art, original music, lots of fun and conviviality.
That this guy is generally hosting, which is really cool.
I sit there quietly and
He's
nod.
a good host. No, you're good. You're a good host.
Oh, and how did that make you feel?
Oh my gosh.
That'll be $200, please.
Yeah.
Yes, doctor. Check, please.
All right. Yeah. Let's go.
Ready? Let's do this thing. Let's do it.
Candle of
Yeah, there it is.
Wow,
We got there.
it was an invisible one. It was really nice.
was
It was
holding it
secretive.
Now,
He's just shy today.
Secret smile.
The secret.
the hasten flame.
So, we have a journal entry this week, and this journal entry has been brought to us in part by our very own Angel.
No way.
Although-
You get to surprise us now.
I do get to surprise. Actually, I get to surprise you a second time, because Tobias, you get to go first.
Do I? Do I really? Is that what's happening? The old switcheroo.
Exactly what's
Journals?
happening. 2 journals.
You get 2 journals? For one. Fucking lucky night.
How?
Grip had a time. You said it was a timely entry, and so
It was.
Count them 2 entries.
All right, okay. I want to scream. I want to rage. I want to immolate this ship. I want to boil the sea and ignite the sky. Why would she do this? I can understand sacrifice. I know it well, from all sides. My teacher sacrificed himself to a noble cause for the greater good. My mother sacrificed her children to save herself. My sister sacrificed herself to save me. And I would have done the same. I hated my teacher for his blithe decision to destroy himself so some king across the sea might eke out a few more miserable winters of life. He claimed to be masterless, and yet at the end of things, he yielded his monstrous life force to his betters like a good little soldier. And yet, I can understand how one who lived so lustily might view choosing the time of his death to be the last and greatest of life's adventures. I hated my mother for abandoning us, but at least I can comprehend why she would do it. I might even come to harbor some small pity for her in the fullness of time, if Trisley has anything to say on the subject. Her pain was great, her burdens many, and yet, as lost and forsaken as she may have been, she did not yield to despair. Her actions may be deplorable, but they were motivated by cunning and a primal instinct for survival at any cost. I can even chart the path that led Figula to give herself to the gravedigger, so I might escape from his domain. Her mind was vast, her sight transcendent. She peered through the threads of time to glimpse the heart of a love that might have been, that should have been, and she carried the weight of its impossibility for winters, knowing that she would one day extinguish herself to spare me. Her sadness must also have been immense, and yet her choice to end herself was not born from inner turmoil, but from dignified resignation. By her lights, it was the only viable choice. I hate that she did it. I wish I could have stopped her, but again, I can clearly see what she was thinking and why. I cannot say the same for Waya. I know she was close to the Jason boy. I know she blames herself for his mutilation, that she could see no alternative but succumbing to grief. That does not hold with what I believed to be the fierce, bold commitment to the pursuit and understanding of all paths of life, and the bringing of death to those who oppose her dream, whose time has come. I do not believe that this was her time. Oh, Katla, scion of the Dread Mother, of night, of death. Was this somehow her doing? She who could speak with Wace's lips, weave mana through her body. Of course she could play tricks upon her mind, haunt her dreams with the face of one she loved, lie, and manipulate us into accepting this act. Why else would this happen so suddenly after her emergence, spouting self-righteous, self-aggrandizing drivel? It doesn't make sense! What if I were to accept that this was your earnest intention? That you've been shrouded in a sadness so complete that the only surcease you may seek comes from yielding your incredible breath so that one of your ancestors might be a midwife for the construct of one of your gods. I suppose I can come to understand that. But I do not accept it. I hate it! That is not who I will carry with me. No. The shard of thy soul I claim as mine own is that which made you follow me in seeking an audience with Tecpotl despite the danger, that spoke to me in the tongue of my sires, who understood my burdens better than any other of this fellowship, who I would have protected with my life, as befits one who is treasured. Delightful curiosity, am I? Pray to your waning goddess that we do not cross paths again, witch, or I will visit upon thee a doom worthy of Equetl himself.
Wow.
Bro is
Buddy.
pissed.
So
Hell yeah.
I did not know a single word of that writing this, just to be clear. And no one has read this. We're responding to each other. This is really funny.
why we play the game, folks.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So this is happening in real time.
Yes. Wow.
When I saw Jason's body, battered and violated, I finally understood. I had passed from one world where there was possibility and promise and joy to one without. I was no longer on a magical quest, but in a war. A war in which I was a commander, deciding who lived and who died, who suffered and who was spared. I was the single most influential person in the field to the man at the center of this war, Titus Vaughn. Jason died that day. To me, at least. Yes, he went to be the moon. He went to the moon to be healed, yet the rivers of immortal time run differently from the world of muscle and blood. I knew in my bones, once he left, I would never see that gentle face again, nor feel that soothing presence. I caused that. Not Titus, not my mother, not even Capio. I made that choice for him, as surely as the owner leads the dog. I was conceived to be an instrument of control on the deepest level. Sin Eater. This is how my life would always be. I told my lord that I had learned to breathe water, that I had tried and failed. This is true. What I did not say is that water wasn't merely sadness or pain, but also truth and hope. He is now the champion of the goddess of truth. I cannot imagine a poorer fit than for me to be dispensing advice to his eager ear. Your words will come from Tulloch, the bringer of rain and life. I judge that a far more apt source. You, divine construct, you, repository of my hope and catalyst to my posthumous salvation, you will have none of these scars. Rather, a strength beyond human and a connection to the divine in your first breath I could not achieve in a lifetime of devotion. I do not envy you. No. I love you, whomever you will be. And I give thee the gift that my own mother failed at completely. Unconditional acceptance. My name was Wasa Yankuik. I was 14 winters old. I gave my all for the dream. Speak your name and be joined. I cannot. Now is your time. Vale.
Let's wrap it up, man. I can't get better than that.
You know what? Session over.
Thanks a lot, guys. I'm gonna go home and stare in the mirror for a while.
You are Grip. You are on her left, or sorry, on her right, and Devrin, you are on her left. You, being joined in a fate pool, you can feel her pass from this mortal coil. And there's a peculiar moment where the more spiritually attuned of you feel her in two places at once, and then not at all. And leaving things behind, you see she had carefully folded her armor, bow, arrows, one of them even still with the faint subtle glow of the Sin Eater's charge. Although that seems to be dissipating now too. What do you do?
I look at Grip. I'm gonna lower her down because I assumed that she was standing when we were holding her hand, and now she's limp.
She was sitting.
Oh, she's sitting?
Yeah, she was sitting. But you ease her down.
I ease her down, and Devrin kneels, puts his head into her lap, and just weeps.
Unable to bear it, and without words to express it, you hear Rex leave. Just turn away and almost flee the room. It's too much for him. The other two older chosen step back, letting the circle have their moment, but they still bear witness. Her spirit is gone, but the body is still very much there.
My fist is shaking. It is taut to the point of being beyond control. The seeking of control that is so intent that you have no control. Jaws firm. And he's trying really, really hard not to yell and force everybody out of the room. He's fighting a war inside.
You have a terrible, dark urge to savage her,
Yeah.
to rend her, to bite her, to destroy her, because of the pain, the agony that she's just inflicted upon you.
Yeah, that's fair. But with whatever scraps of intent are still present, trying to find a breath, trying to grasp for a connection to Trisley, some kind of grounding, some kind of...
And you feel a soft, gentle hand at the small of your back in your psionic landscape. This being, this person, this other piece of you now, trying to give you some sort of surcease. Make a wisdom save. With advantage, because Trisley's helping you.
That's very good. That's the same, 17 twice.
Nice.
Nice.
So yeah, 17.
Okay. You're sitting there. The rest of you see him, his eyes bugging out. You hear the labored breathing, except for you, Devrin. You're oblivious to the world right now.
I would say that if there is some kind of like sonic escape, some kind of presence there, the yell that has been contained echoes and reverberates through that space. It becomes that space, just while he is wrapped up in itself.
Trisley allows your shared soul space to yield to that, and you just feel them again, bearing witness, being present for you, saying nothing. Titus, you were a little further away. You were close, but you were a little further away.
I think he'd be walking up, looking down at her, and realizing that it's no longer Wasa. Seeing that for how many people that he's seen gone, knowing that there's something that left her body.
She looks tiny now that she can't fill a room.
And I think that he would feel her around him still.
You do?
Not as spiritually as attuned as anyone else, but I think that he would know that in the stories of legend, people always have to go. And I think that him having that time to say goodbye, which is the first time that he's really been able to anyone from his mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, uncle, Merrick.
Even Merrick, yeah.
All the way down to, and I think he finds a lot of peace in that. And I think he wants to just make sure that she's at peace, whether in a physical body, but knowing that that spirit is.
Marcus?
He's just looking at her for a while, just observing her. Like, he's not feeling as torn up like when Merrick died and everybody else did. It's more of like he's not really sure how to process this shit yet, but it's not with sadness. Like, he's not overwhelmed by emotions here.
And you do have a somewhat different perspective because you've just been through an extraordinary experience all in a moment. And you come back from that venture, from the last episode's venture.
And we'll just take a moment to look around.
You saw the beginning of it, and now you're seeing the closing of that loop 500 years later, 500 winters later.
Right.
Mitra, in this moment, what are you doing?
Mitra's probably, like, in the back corner of the room. Like, this is not, like, her place, but, she'll bear witness. And I think as I'm assuming they felt that shift, and will bow her head in respect and just survey.
Because of your background and what your function is in your culture, you feel her, like, very keenly. You feel her pause at the door and look back. And then finally...
And Mitra's brain is just more like taking an observation of everybody else's reaction, kind of like gauging how important she felt to everybody, even gauging on and thinking back on what she said to her about the drawing that she made. I'm just like, okay, now's the time. Who needs it most, and who deserves it the most?
I don't want to clutter the scene, but give me one insight roll.
Okay.
Let me see how well you're reading everyone.
Insight. Well, it's a +7, so dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. So you catch at least the outlines of what everybody just told me.
And then a little bit of shock on top of that from what you just told me.
Okay.
Fair
And Marcus, I feel like, I mean, it's up to y'all, but I feel like you're going to be the first person to assert yourself or to come back, because of what you just experienced.
And I think Mitra will have that, I guess, like, exiting great as she feels her leave out the door.
So you were actually the last person to feel her then, because you were the closest, and the most attuned to the dead.
Everything.
Turns out
Everything.
Death Sabers have that expertise.
So, turns out we have an expertise on death. You know?
the name, baby.
Yeah, I love it.
You're also the orb bearer, so you exist in that space constantly.
Oh yeah, 100%. But she's being very stoic at the moment. Of just, I'm letting everybody feel these emotions. This is proper. This is needful pain here. I'm gonna let this happen, and I'm not gonna say shit. So.
Based on the role, obviously this is your choice as the player. Based on the role, you would say one of the two boys.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. Okay.
In that moment, with a dirty 20, Titus does not feel like a boy to you.
Ooh.
He feels like a young, devout warrior.
Okay. 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 Gained a little bit more respect, but not by much. But
Like the way he's standing, his body language, what's coming off of him, all of that.
Okay.
I stand.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say really what I'm feeling right now, buddy. But I will say that in our lives, all of us, we rarely have the opportunity to choose what our life means and what it doesn't. She's made a choice, and I honor for it. But I need some time.
Antigone says softly from behind, Domini will be above decks. And they leave, so it's just the...
Yeah, I would look over at Mitra and be like, let's give them some time. And then I would kind of like usher to help walk you out so they can be alone.
And I won't say anything, but I'll move out. I was gonna follow Marcus anyway.
Oh, nice.
Indra raises an eyebrow at you as she notices you notice something else but doesn't ask. and then goes out.
I might know some things.
And as you, before anyone else is observing you or judging you or anything else, you do briefly feel Indra's hand on the small of your back. And a brief but meaningful glance. She looks up at you and then goes up. Okay, the mood above decks is somber. They know something important happened, and then word, as it does on a tiny ship like that, is just going to spread no matter what you think or do. So
Yeah.
people
Small
have
ship.
people have almost a clairvoyant ability to pick up on things. And you are now well into the evening.
And we started the movement, the trip again.
Yeah.
Was there anything different? I'm just curious, from a twin perspective, that I may have felt that was different because she was my twin, from a soul perspective or spiritual perspective?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, it's right now. Everything is just pain and grief.
Yeah, I just have
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's
right now.
overwhelming. Exactly, emotional.
If you sit with it, perhaps. And actually, Donnie, since you went above decks, give me a perception roll.
Perception. Usually works.
That is a 15.
Okay.
So you see Spess the unicorn, standing vigil, waiting for you. And then he looks at you, and you just know somehow that he's trying to decide something.
Mm-hmm. I would walk over,
Okay.
kind of hand on it, just kind of.
He halfway closes his eyes, and for the first time is like openly affectionate with you.
I put my head against.
Pushes his head against yours gently. Changes the angle just a bit then, because you approach like that. It makes this decision for him. Taps you with the horn, and you get 3 things from him. 1, he does not need to sleep.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Insomnia.
2, Two, he somehow knows, maybe from touching your mind before, where you're going. And three, he will meet you there. And he catches your eyes and stares, turns, make sure that he's got the one eye on you.
Yeah.
And is really, really looking at you, and you feel him wanting you to understand that he's still with you.
I would kind of say in my mind, hoping that he would understand. It's like, make sure she gets there safe. Thinking about like Wace's soul going to the next. If he's any which way that he could shepherd. Knowing that everything that he does know, anything he knows he can hope for that.
Spess nods.
Oh, yeah.
And then Titus will begin to weep while just kind of making eye contact. And then
he nuzzles you tenderly once more, and your tears go into his fur, soak into his fur, and then he turns and, as gingerly as a 1-ton unicorn can, gathers himself.
Whole boat shakes.
Yeah. And then
Jumps off and we capsize.
and he made sure to jump, like he doesn't go to the very edge, because that could potentially endanger the ship.
yeah,
So
his first rodeo.
no, it's not at all.
It's not his first rodeo.
And he has capsized ships before in the past.
On purpose, though.
Oh, for sure, on purpose.
And you hear bones, balls,
Yeah.
as some people are startled, and this huge thing just hurtles down and
What was that? Captain!
Captain, it's all right. It's just the the moon equine doing his thing. Okay.
As Titus turns, he won't wipe away his tears. He'll just kind of be there, just looking out, kind of on the horizon.
All right. Indra stays with you. Grip.
Yo.
Devrin still seems just despondent right now, and is not really paying attention to much. His weeping has subsided to an extent, but he's just still.
And I'm kind of like caressing as well.
Yeah, you don't give a shit about whatever else this chatter is going on around you.
So I don't think he would have noticed everybody else going, Grip would, but I think
Until now.
he will have
Yeah.
come out of this reverie, have a little bit more presence. Looking at Devrin, he will. So, Devrin. We have something in common. And then you will exit the room. He's going to make his way to the back of the ship.
Okay.
With an air of...
Below decks or above?
Above decks.
Above, okay.
Above decks to the back of the ship. Sit. Get as close to the very end of it as possible with an air of, do not talk to me.
Micho's already in the back of the boat meditating, and she's like... Okay.
Okay.
But also silently kind of like gauging the airs.
Well,
So you do not turn when he comes over there. Okay.
Eyes closed. Just doing breathing exercises and whatnot.
well, that was my plan too. And it's just going to blow a gust of wind due north and breathe into it. Really just have it flowing through his body, working everything out of him, looking at that place where they met and willing himself to move away from it.
Okay. The water has no choice but to yield to that, kicks up, flies out, and for some reason, you remember her telling you that if she had had her druthers, if she'd had a choice in her life, that she would have chosen Tolok, god of the rain and the giver of life, not the Dread Mother. And so you see yourself contributing to a little miniature rain cycle there.
Very cool.
Yeah. And I think he'll feel a little bit better.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Devrin, you've been left alone, and now you have to deal with her earthly remains. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's dark now.
This is this for the audience. This is his first actual like death.
Yeah.
That he's actually. I mean, it's close to. I mean, he's seen unfortunately the death of the battles, but his first family and relative, and his twin. He spends quite a bit of time weeping, touching her, sniffing her. I mean, he had such short time with her.
You're trying to burn her into your memory.
It's almost an animal instinct.
Yeah.
He cycles through emotional grief and then anger, as a 14-year-old would. Anger at the world, at himself. That such a short time spent, other than the brief memories he had with her in whatever space that was where he and her exchanged languages.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of talking to Wira.
Same.
He has
Screaming at Wira.
he's talking to Wira. He's thinking. I mean, this is brief instances now. Later on, it'll become more, but that he thinks she needs to be returned to Tolok, and the proper burial would be probably in the water, in the ocean. Again, this is kind of throughout the process of. I mean, he's spending quite a bit of time down there just with her. Really ingesting that.
No, that all makes sense to me, Corey. Your hand brushes against some of that precious beaten woven bark that they use as parchment, and you remember that she had written her death poem, and that you are now the only person who can read it.
He instinctually, in that moment, Magnus Avizio, as he's crying, and basically the parchment gets put in place back into his backpack. Just basically mage hand.
It's like, but with no outward. Yeah.
I'm busy doing other things, but
okay.
He's done that in the past. That's kind of subconscious to pick things up. Why? Why such a short time?
It's alone. You have no answer.
He brushes against his back hair where he placed the beads briefly in that moment. He thinks about his the loss of his girlfriend back in the day. I don't have the name off the top of my head here.
The one that your delightful father cheated out of her inheritance.
Out of the whole
and destroyed her family. Yes, that one.
And then they left for a place down south. I mean, he's just in grief at this point. I mean, he's thinking things. After maybe about a torch, he
You think it's a torch? It's longer than that.
He gets up.
You're stiff.
He picks her up.
She's so light.
And he's
She has none of that chosen quintessence, none of that vitality that she crackled with, or that intelligence that drove her in life. It's gone.
He prays for wisdom on his decision to both Wira and to Tolok. Please guide me in the proper burial for My sister.
You feel like, I mean, your character, I think, at this point would feel like your instinct was correct.
Turns. He walks up to the cabin. And for those who see him, he has a sad but very dedicated, stern face on him as he's looking towards, like, literally, like, this is like a Titanic moment where he's looking towards the starboard or the starboard side of, well, the front of the ship.
Oh, okay, the bow of the ship.
Bow.
So yeah, that would be turned south right now. Because you guys are headed south. Which direction do you want to be?
It'd be north. That way,
north.
I don't want the ship to interfere with
north.
this. Yeah.
It's north, always north.
And he would walk towards the end of the ship.
Now, before that happens, okay, so you brought her up, no problem. Marcus, as you're trying to get yourself together, it's not really words, and it's not really an empathic thing. You don't really know how it communicates with you. But the ring gives you a little spiritual thump on the nose and says, boop, and says, you have work to do.
I was about to. Come on.
And you say that out loud,
Yeah.
Wake up.
And you realize, I mean, you already knew this, but now you really know this. Yes, this is absolutely an artifact from Waya, from the same goddess who created Concord. However, the purpose of that ring and the bearer of that ring is completely different. And whoever is bearing that ring, whoever is mistress or now master of Tentril Den, always, always, always has more work to do. Whereas there are times where a Bellator Sanctus can rest.
Yeah, I met your cousin.
There is
I don't know about that.
Work of a
is
farm boy's
never-
never done.
because because the way that ring was forged, it was to support the person who had 10, 20 children that they were raising by themselves.
Yeah, point. Yeah, there's always something more to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always full.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll diapers again.
All right. How many hours has it been since her death at this point?
You've lost track. It's dark though,
Then that's enough time.
and you feel like you know that Grip has come up, and you saw his outburst, his attempt to cleanse himself. The shipmates of Antigone, Brixus, and Rex, they're not terrified of it, but they know better than to get. They basically are thinking of you as the will worker at this point. You know, the same thing as Rex. So they're like, yeah, we're not going to get anyone with him.
We're staying away from this guy.
Something with the green scales.
So you think you feel like pretty soon Devrin is going to be coming up, and he's going to need your help because this is not something he understands. You have seen a lot of death. We didn't game through everything in Pollux, but you've been raided by the Utini. You weren't a warrior before, but you were well aware of the cycle of life and how every day is a gift, and nothing is for granted.
Yeah, it's not. Eminently, or do I have a minute?
And almost on cue, you hear
Eminently.
you hear what must be Devrin carrying Wace's earthly remains because his footfalls are heavy.
I'm going to intercept.
Okay, so you come above decks and you're starting to go aft, and then he catches you before you get there.
Devrin.
Good. Marcus, come. Please.
I guess.
The intention anyway.
And then with an enhanced voice, Lord Titus,
Oh yeah, I would have
grip.
turned.
Okay, people snap around, and Rex just
Please join me.
It's okay. And just used to you doing that. And I know. Does the rest of the fellowship come? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And me and Grip are already kind of.
Yeah, you're already basically there. It's getting cozy it's getting cozy aft.
You know the
Sometimes
proper
does.
You know the proper rights.
No. All I know is I have a feeling she needs to return to Tolok. That was her choice. That was her preference of the
The
three.
water.
Yeah.
You
She's
want
already
her to
fine.
rest beneath the sea. I can take her. I can breathe the water, as she could not.
How deep?
Deep.
I like this idea.
I want to go with.
I think it'd be fitting for you to do it.
I'm inclined to agree with the Lord here. I think that he can get her to a place that you simply cannot go, Devrim.
They share the blood.
We all loved her, very much so.
Yeah.
Here, in Lake Shalishkala, in the broader sea. Where?
How far were you away from our location? Our destination, I should say.
You're close, but you're going to be on the river
Yeah.
when you get there. It's not going to change.
Yeah. It's 2 days back to the
The lake would have been preferable,
The deepest part of this lake
but this will do.
should do.
rivers will lead to the lake.
Hmm?
The river will lead to the lake. She'll find her way. She knows that we couldn't delay. But all waters will lead to where she is meant to be.
So I should.
I'll have the captain stop the ship, slow it. We will stand vigil. And I'll lower you down.
Unfortunately, Antigone knows this all too well, and you can feel the ship already beginning to slip. Yeah, you don't even have to ask.
Okay.
A moment. And Titus is going to go back, and he's going to actually go out and get like one of his Vorn house robe things so we can wrap her body
Okay.
up really.
I will.
And
I'll
tie.
help.
Thank you.
Between the two of you, you wrap her tightly. Well, the material is weird to you, Death Tamer. It's unusual, but the ritual is quite familiar.
I'll say like a very like tiny prayer to Loyatar as we're wrapping her.
Purify and regenerate her. Yes. Okay.
Thank you, Mitra. And I'll have a rope ready for you to hold on to her, and then I'll lower you down.
At some point during that process, I want to have a strand of her, a good clump of her hair.
Okay.
It could have been even earlier. I just,
Yeah.
Marcus. May I have your light?
What do you have in hand?
Nothing. He wants you to put your light in his
Fair
hand.
enough.
Literally.
Do I have any stones around? Or
Actually-
pieces of wood, stone, anything?
So you can just put it on me, right?
Titus is actually going to reach behind his back,
He needs an object.
and he's going to pull out. He's going to pull out the sigil that he gave her when he asked to become an advisor.
Oof.
Ow.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that he was holding on to. And he gives it to Grip.
That'll do.
Toya, please grant light to this item so that Grib may find his way with ease to Wace's final resting place.
Oh, GM is not considering. GM is just trying to collect himself. Okay, so you feel her presence, perhaps a little more than would be needed for this. Usually with something like that, it's just a suggestion, a breath in passing, and instead you feel her. You feel her, Waya, there. Turquoise, jet, jade. The light flickers and coruscates in all these different, the three gods of her pantheon.
Well, ain't that something?
with Waya sealing them together and a familiar golden light coming, but only after the other gods have been acknowledged and honored.
In my mind, I'm giving her like this warm greeting the way I would like a beloved family member I haven't seen for a while, you know, because I haven't felt her this strongly in me for a good minute.
You instinctively know that of all of those gods, Waya is probably the only one gracious enough to acknowledge the others.
That makes sense.
So much.
That checks out.
Sick.
You will just
You have this
regard
sigil.
it. Give a last look to you all. Everyone being the culmination.
Okay.
We'll stretch and crack. He rumbles from his throat as gills open on the sides of his neck, some light webbing between his toes. The scales become a little more pronounced and seem to shine a bit in the light. I'm ready. And he makes for the rope, holding her on his right side, mostly bearing the weight with the part of him that is more human.
Okay. And then you dive. You see grip, splash.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know, yeah. Whatever.
Did you want to do something?
Oh, no. I was going to tie it around so we'd be able to lower it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
If you, I mean, you can.
No, I was after you had said,
Whatever works best for the guy with gills.
He's a little savage.
He's just like holding the rope. He's like,
He's a little savage.
I was intending to
Little gremlin.
let you lower him in. Yeah, he wanted to be gentle.
little gremlin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That makes sense.
If that was if grip will permit it, then okay.
Yeah.
You take time and lower her down.
I can.
You still dive in though.
Yeah, you'll need a rope to get back up.
Look for the light when you get back.
Then start pushing down, holding the light in one
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna.
the left hand, kind of like controlling her body with the right. It'll be slow going, but he's going to propel himself just with his feet
Very
and just go down, down, down as far as he can.
Make an athletics check,
Come on.
and you feel a powerful force guiding you. Can add 7 to that roll.
That's a natural 20.
Nice.
Okay.
Shout out to the dice today.
23.
23 plus 7.
30, dude! Good old American 30.
Okay, good old American.
Dirty 30.
Okay, the water parts almost with a natural ease, despite the potentially awkward angle that you're having to approach things at. And since I based the Kogi off of the Mississippi, this is there is plenty to go.
Yeah. But we've got an hour, so.
But you have time.
Gonna hold it.
You get down. Where are you going to try to place her? And I'm just going to tell you that as you're somewhat divinely inspired right now, whatever you're looking for, you're going to find.
Well, that's interesting. So I was going to look for a nook, a place that she could be placed, to be held in place for a time, but then that would eventually be free.
So you see some
Waters, yeah.
Yeah. You see some sort of what looks like the beginnings of an underground cave, maybe. Not a system, but just like a divot. And you carefully, and it's like this cave had formed itself waiting for her. And you put her into the cradle of Talok's arms as one last time the sigil goes from gold to jade.
Tuck it in the robe and wait. Observe. Last look. Not sure how long. But this is the first time can see a piece. It's not there yet, but it's on the horizon. You can see the path through. And he believes this is what she wants.
And then your pragmatic mind kicks in. Even slow, do you have to leave now? Or you risk getting left behind?
In Draconic, what ultimately is bubbles in the water.
Angel on the tail, after about 10 minutes, I just want to touch the tail of the boat. Lux Fiat. Give my guiding light to come back to.
Leaving the porch light on. That's beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, very good.
A sentiment Draconic, and he'll shoot for the surface.
What did you tell her in Draconic?
I didn't say.
Say it was just bubbles. The fish here. So what do
fish
they hear?
know.
What are the fish? What are the fish here?
Goldfish here. That he would
You forget it 3 seconds later.
For far away friends.
May you fly forever in the eternal sky.
Oh shit.
Let's go. All right. Someone left the porch light on for you.
And the rope is still down there.
You swim toward it, and then you feel a grip-sized amount of Draconic Boy latch onto the rope.
Seeing that light, I think he's feeling a little cheeky. I think he wants to go to the other side of the boat, see if he can sneakily shimmy up the other side. What do you think?
Climbing on the side of
Cheeky
the boat.
little dragon boy.
No,
I got claws.
You do.
But also poking holes in a
also-
ship. That's porous.
Thank you, Mitra.
Just a little scratch on the surface.
Yeah, just a few holes.
A little hole in a boat never hurt anybody, right? The old saying goes.
You want to go, and you are at the limits of your will.
And it starts to...
It starts to fade. Mm-hmm.
Maybe next time.
Okay.
I'll go for the rope.
Maybe next time I'll sink a whole ship.
You shimmy up.
I can swim there.
At least some of you caught that he was eyeballing, clawing the ship,
Yeah.
going around the side, but gave it up.
Yeah, my attention was down the way you went.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would have been kind of staring north, just only holding onto the rope, waiting for it to get hot.
Yeah, once he returns, Delron turns and walks towards the other part of the ship.
Okay.
I'm going to find a blanket, and I'm just going to tuck myself underneath it
Curl.
and curl and just...
As Waysa would say, have a nappy.
Have a nappy.
Have a nappy.
And you're under the stars. You feel Wira caressing you, blowing over you ceaselessly over the surface of the Kogi and on the ship. Yeah, actually, I imagine your character couldn't stand to go below decks right now.
Nope, and he instinctively grapples for the death poem, and he thinks about Arasa, the mage hut at the hut.
Oh,
Arwasa.
Arwasa. Yeah,
Arwasa.
Arwasa. Mm-hmm.
And his
Oh God, yeah.
his entire like half of himself he doesn't even know really.
Just as true for you as for your twin. The opposite flipped, but yeah.
I will learn this for both of us, my sister. And he just, it's the nighttime. He'll sleep.
Okay.
Asleep.
It is a long, hard night.
Dominic, you have a moment?
Aye.
Let's go up there.
Yeah.
In super hushed tones.
Okay.
Looking back at the group. During the last moments of Waysa, I had a vision. I'm not sure what happened, but I think it was the stone that she gave me. It connected me to an ancestor of Jason's. And I was back at a place called Taiwani, I believe it was called.
Oh, that was Kaodal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Kaodal.
Yeah.
Taiwani's the current one. Keep going.
Gotcha. Oh, Kaodal, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Kaodal. It's an ancient city, and they knew Nilishli there.
I remember Nilishli talking about
Yeah.
visions like this.
And the place was destroyed. Like, I got a chance to see what kind of happened afterwards, but there was a woman, Nikali, I believe her name was, and Jason's... I'm not entirely sure how to put into context of what I saw, but I saw that at this moment right now, all three of the constructs are available and out there. All three of them. And Atiani, that was who drew me, the Jason ancestor. He gave his life to act as the anchor for what Wasa just did. She called herself Tinder, and he called himself an anchor, and they both gave their lives for this person. It's a girl, by the way.
So at least we know that this has happened before.
Yeah.
And for their culture, it's obviously a good reason.
This is not supposed to be. It's not. When one dies, the next one takes prominence. That's the way it's always been with them. And I know why all three of them are in the world right now. One of them is, I think he said deactivated or something. Like, he was inert. That was the Coatl's avatar.
Oh. Quaelathon was the only thing before. I guess we should welcome whatever could be different.
We can, and I think we should, but there's something bigger going on here. Something vast. And everybody's taking an interest in what's going on right now. I mean, and just in the last 4 months alone, we've run into, 7 gods?
We have ours, though.
We do.
Waya will light the way.
She will, and that's all well and good. And I love that about her, and I'm...
Love that for her. She's queen. Go off.
Slay.
And I'm not trying to make a mountain out of a molehill here, but we have to figure this out, and...
Find this construct that Wasa made herself an anchor for.
Potentially, yeah. Among other things, I left something of Waya in that city that I was in. I'm hoping it's survived the times. 500 years, so give or take.
What was it?
Waya symbol. The only thing I could think of to deceive. And I gave it to a woman who was living, one of Grip's kin, actually. She gave me a message for him and all of his people. Quick one, but there's so much, and I ain't know what to do. I ain't know what to do.
We can pray for it.
Yeah, we can.
But I think you should tell Grip that you spoke to an ancestor.
I was planning on it, yeah. I asked her if she wanted to give a message to them, and she did. I plan on giving that message.
I would imagine that they were quite feisty. And I kind of eye over to Grip.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was strong too. Spoke directly into my mind. Tried to actually peer into it too, which I didn't like none of.
They are known for being quite cordial. Well,
Cordial.
yeah.
Not my impression of her, but right.
Sure.
I believe we can begin to make jokes again. It always helps me.
I should talk about this to the others and see if I can get other insights into it. But there's a reason why first Nilishli, now me, they want us to see this. Whoever's sending us back wants us to see it. And I don't think it should be ignored. Not ignored, that's not the right word. Mitigated.
Withheld.
Yeah. I can read now. Yeah, the Bring gave me the ability to do so. But I'd still like to learn how to read without it on. Can you teach me?
Absolutely.
Great.
Sure.
Without wasting now, I think we should include Mitra in these discussions as well.
I agree.
Okay.
You hear a knock on the door.
We're up in the front of the ship.
Oh, well, you hear kind of someone coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is Mitra.
Yeah. Just in time.
I know, because I was about to go there.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, did I hear that? I don't know. No, sorry for interrupting, Dominique.
I need to apologize.
Wanted to bring some subjects up about our future trip, the reason that we're all out here for. You need an advisor. Wanted to offer up my services. I'm quite learned.
Hope you won't step on anyone's toes or heads.
Depending on other things, but I would like to know a little bit more about how you do things over here. As well as perhaps give me some more knowledge on my end.
I welcome the support.
And I have a bit more respect for you, Dominique. After all these trying events, you have a strong heart. Seen more than anyone that I have encountered outside of my own culture. And I want to help.
I don't have a strong brain, so I welcome yours.
I will be as much help as I can.
I think we should give Grip and Devon a little time, but
But not too much.
call for.
Yeah. Just a bit, but not too much.
Agreed.
It's easy to start wallowing.
And he's had a lot of emotional things going on. He is young.
You see Rex staring at you, Marcus.
I'm talking about him.
We'll talk. I've got things to tell you. Everyone, really, but we'll talk. I need to talk to him for a minute.
Understood.
You go over, he's like, I didn't want to like intrude or anything. If if you need to like keep talking to your friends or
This is important. Say your mind.
yeah, like I've ever had any trouble doing that, except right now, it's you've actually like talked to a god, right? I mean, not like prayed and asked, but you've actually like talked with a god.
I feel her presence everywhere around me. I feel it in my mind and my soul. Have I ever spoken words directly to her and had her repeat them back or said something back to me? No, not directly.
How is that different from the claims that all the beacons make?
Well, you felt her power. You felt her presence in you when I gave you that blessing. I mean,
There are a lot of magics in this world.
there are a lot of magics. Does the ring help? Soothe you? Do you think Waya would allow this ring on my finger if she did not give permission for it to be there?
Soothe me? No. But convince me? Yeah, I guess so.
I'm new to this. I know really what I'm doing. I'm kind of just muddling my way through. It's getting easier, of course, but maybe she just doesn't want to talk with me right yet. She does give me her confidence. I can feel it.
She never talked that way to Antonia. The mistress of Tentril Den. Basically my mom. Basically all of our moms. And Antonia said that faith was something that you felt. Something that you lived.
She's quite right.
I don't want faith in my life. I want to be master of my own destiny. Captain of my own ship, you could say.
Fair enough.
It's not this one.
As lovely as a ship this is.
I heard that. Oh, darling, what should we bother?
Frankus, get off. God, too much pug.
Can I?
Frankus.
As he comes and he's kicking around
Breathing heavily on you.
and has him.
Can I make a recommendation? It seems that you have a vested interest in what goes on in the den.
This pug is indestructible.
It is, which is why we love it so much, right?
It'll never die.
This pug is 16 winters old, Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still behaving like this.
It survived a demon.
Twice.
Yes.
Possession extends away. Twice.
Okay. I guess, look, when I was little, I could go to Antonia and I could ask her all kinds of stuff, and I'm just going to ask you something, and you're not going to know the answer, and I still want to ask you anyway.
Okay.
Where do we go when we die?
You know, I have always believed that you go to the God that you really worship and follow. In your case, if you are not looking for faith and to live that life, probably the river for you.
The Eternal River.
Probably back to it, yeah.
I guess that's the closest thing a real will worker has to a god.
And you have direct connection to it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it seemed like it would reclaim you. I always assumed I was going to go to Quailethorn before I realized that Waya was a thing. And then now that I believe in Waya, I know that the path I walk is right. And I know that she'll call me back when it's time. I don't need to know anything else.
You know that or you hope that?
I know that. I know it, Rex. But that's part of my faith. Each one's their own walk and their own time. And you'll make it yours.
Sounds too convenient. The whole thing.
I can appreciate that. But luckily I'm not trying to sway your opinion on it one way or another.
Before all this started, I wanted to do half a dozen different things, but I think I was gonna try to find the Isle of Tenderheart. Now, though, and he holds his staff, now that this puppy's waking back up, I think I have to find the Grey Walker's old place. I have some ideas.
Naeus?
No, Figulus Naeus was his student.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess in lineages that kind of makes him like my great-grandfather or something. I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Well,
Kind of breaks down.
then you should probably be talking to Grip. Grip has...
That little bundle of rage? I don't know.
Yeah, kinda. He's
They say I have a bad attitude.
connected to Naeus and could probably shed some light on a direction that you might be able to take to find that Grey Walker.
I'll think about it.
What about the den? I'm ready to take it. Well, when we're done here and we have time, I'm definitely going back, but...
No, the den's going to require... That's going to need some serious firepower. I have to master the staff. We're going to have a... It's probably going to take a dozen or more chosen to shove our way in there. It's bad. It's bad. It's just numbers. I don't know.
Just numbers.
Maybe if I can get a lot more... Maybe if I can get a lot stronger. Plus the Rajad might be... She can't use it for doing what she wanted to do, but she might have settled in nicely already. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to assume she's there
Probably for the best.
with a bunch of minions.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
You know, she's just going to try to find someone, a stronger mastermind or a stronger figure to attach herself to. That's how she operates.
Makes sense to me too, yeah.
In her infernal tongue, it just means ambassador. So, I don't know. Anyway.
Well, it sounds right. She's a parasite. What parasites do. They attach themselves to something stronger and try to keep alive. But we're going to do our best to make sure she's not.
She's pretty skilled at it.
Yeah.
She's been a going concern for over 200 winters now.
As an on tour Titus, she hadn't had to deal with that much either yet. And she fled the second she saw that. She fled.
It's Concord, right?
It is.
And the man wielding it's just gonna get tougher and tougher, so.
Demon killer.
Yes.
I'm gonna go sit next to Devrin. He looks rough. He's been, I guess a friend. Kind of weird. I thought that was all behind me.
No one is so rich as a throwaway friend, my friend.
I was trying to, and here I was trying to start my 20 winter wandering arc per the Tempestiad, and instead I've gotten sucked back into relationships. God's damn it.
They come as they will. Let it
Okay.
go with it.
All right.
Need something, Rex, let me know.
Thanks for, not knowing.
I'll do what I can. I not know a lot, so.
You won't notice it until later, Devrin, and maybe even when you wake up. But Rex just goes to sleep next to you. Just lies down, and he's tired as fuck too.
How old is he, roughly?
He's a little bit older than you.
Okay, like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Add one more thing before we go sleep.
I think he did say his age explicitly, but he looks a little young. Yeah.
I wanted to make my way back to the cabin where Oasis things were,
Yes.
and I want to take some of her armor. Or a piece of it.
It's it doesn't really detach very well.
And I'll cut a scale off if I need to.
A scale. Okay.
I want to manipulate it, I want to feel it, I want to see if there's any part of it that I could wear would feel good, and if that's not the case, I'm going to cut a little scale off.
It is not made for your form.
Yeah.
So
It's too tall.
too tall and too slender.
Yeah.
Nice Gorget.
Even if it was like nothing that would affect my defense or improve my my standing.
But you're trying to find something. Yeah.
It's just one thing that I could have.
The scales on it are really, really tough.
I've got a very sharp knife.
Yes, you
and
do.
His treasure trove is growing.
Okay. Exactly.
It's really.
How to destroy a magic item?
Okay.
It was a little doohickey.
Give me a dex check and let me see how much damage.
Thingamabob, even.
They call dispel magic. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Do you have an argument for any of your skills? Probably not. You're all talk literally. And if you all your damn charisma skills. All right. Because I was like, maybe survival or something, because that might fall under tanning, but that'd be way worse. So yeah, just give me a dex check and be happy with it.
Take it. Just take it.
That's a 1.
I had a feeling that was going to be it. Okay.
Cuts off your skin.
Oh, God.
Roll a second time and let me see exactly at what point in the process you botched it up.
Just walk out with a knife sticking out of your own hand. You're like, gosh,
Well,
yikes.
Pretty bad. Okay. If it was high enough, you would just realize that there
A
wasn't.
piece of the brace or something.
Yeah. So you're going to town. You're like, I need a bigger scale. So you're going and you're trying to. You're getting
Not a big scale.
You're getting greedy. Yeah.
Draconic pride. That's
And it's like you have all these rationalizations yourself as like, okay, just a little. Okay, that one, that's a little awkward. Okay, no, this is better. Oh,
This
no,
one's nice.
no, you work your way up on a 1 and then a 5. You work your way up, and you hear it. And you just manage to impale right through like the chest. And
That's a good part to get started.
are you okay ruining the armor?
I don't want to ruin there's little pieces on the edge. I just want to cut a little piece off the edge.
Everybody wants
Everybody wants a piece.
Everyone wants
So
a piece.
you are struggle busing right now, my friend, with this thing. Every time that you started, it just got worse and worse.
That sucks.
The dice decide.
Yeah. Well,
The dice giveth and the dice taketh away.
I don't know. I want a piece. I'm gonna get a piece.
Oh my god. Okay. All right.
No.
I mean, if we're going that way, if we're
Your little dude with attitude mutilates
He's like, I don't give a shit about this.
mutilates the chest piece.
This is gonna be great.
And so you, it's like getting into, hey, committing to the bit.
He wants his treasure.
You get into, and it is Green Dragon. It's like when someone digs into the heart of the watermelon and cuts out the very choice part of the watermelon, and it's so juicy and perfect, and then kind of messes it up for the next person. So you get exactly the piece that you want, and
Honestly, though, I kind of like that.
and then you finally figure out what it is. It has the right smell.
No,
That's what you wanted.
no, I'm happy with that.
She was wearing the skin.
I don't want anybody else wearing that armor anyway. Are you kidding me?
Kind of fair.
No, I wasn't gonna wear that armor.
Was.
What's one scale?
Oh, you still could. It just has a hole right
Right in the chest.
There's repercussions for all this. I mean, the emotional side alone.
Heart symbol right there. Green. Wood.
So Antigone tells you that oddly, even with the time that you took out to confront the oppressor soul, you're still ahead of schedule. The winds have been almost freakishly good.
Yeah.
The waters are cooperating.
It's a good.
Speeding you.
Someone's dice are rolling well.
Speeding you right along.
Someone's rolling a 20.
So
I would also do one more thing too. While Devon was asleep, I was going to put one of Wace's pies that I had in my pack.
Aw.
Morning.
Okay.
No.
It's a limited edition now, Donnie.
Yeah.
Corpse is colder with scavenging.
I've given you a pie.
I'm giving you one from my own stores. Because it turns out you got to pay some taxes in Germentrum, and that booze ain't free.
Hey. Yeah.
Why does my armor fit way
And
tighter?
I will have a moment with Grip before he goes to bed, because I think I've decided who I'm going to give this to.
Okay. After your subconscious takes you over, and you do the post hoc justification for it, you walk out, and all of a sudden you're just feeling so drained. All of the piss and vinegar is just bled right out of you, and you are deadly tired now. And you walk out, and it's well into the night now. Mitra seeks you out and finds you.
Just literally bump into her. It's so funny.
He's coming out of the cabin. You came down. You came down, walked a little bit down the P-way, and then you're right at the bulkhead of the cabin's
Great.
the captain's cabin.
What are you doing? Did that help?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a chat with Waya before everything, and I've been working on this, and she said to give it to whoever needs it the most.
What is it?
She'll kind of reach in her little pocket, unfurl, and it's a very detailed, almost lifelike sketch of Waya that Mitra did. She wanted me to have it. I was going to give it to her, but I guess it doesn't really matter.
No. Thank you.
Welcome.
But I'm not the one that needs it the most.
I'd argue you do.
I've made my peace and taken my treasure. Devon. Or perhaps better, the construct. Give it to the construct if we find her.
Love it.
And then I'm gonna go to sleep.
I'm gonna go break some more of her shit.
Yes.
You were sleeping in the captain's cabin, yes?
I was.
Okay. So at some point, you're gonna walk in, and you have a pretty good passive perception.
Nope. I think it's 20.
Wow. Do you have the?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There.
All right. I need to remember that then.
Twice.
Okay. So that's crazy. So actually, even during that conversation, you might have picked up on this, but now you're sure when he moves out and is not obstructing you, although you can see over him.
It's just like right here.
It's
not
a
in
funny
periph,
thing.
yeah.
In real life, the characters
reversed.
are exactly reversed in height. Yeah.
I know what I appear to be to some people. I know what it is.
I can
know
find
the
the
vibe.
little things on the ground.
And you see his words, "I have taken my treasure," are quite literal, because you see he's carved out one of the
After she said, "Yeah, you're wise beyond your years, Grip. Come in. There's a whole hole in the armor."
So funny.
They just immediately just go, "Oh boy," and just sits back to the armor, sits in front of it, and just essentially sleeps like this. One could say one eye open, but
Right. You got it in. It wasn't Donnie.
This is why we play the game!
It wasn't Donnie.
hit you by 1 second.
Yes! I was biting my tongue, God damn it.
We're not going to improve on that. So, faraway friends.
Just gonna keep going.
Let's go to that as we wind our way to intermission. Thank you so much for watching to this point, and we will see you in a few moments. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Eldritch Foundry is evolving. Bringing you a virtual army of miniatures like never before in full tabletop-ready color. Paint your miniatures in our upgraded creation tool, then bring them to life in stunning one-to-one detail as 3D printed miniature masterpieces. With complete control over your digital color scheme, you can point and click for simple color fills or go all in on highlights, shading, brush techniques, and more. Create epic heroes and madness-touched monsters that are truly yours. Miniatures are 3D printed in perfect color detail using a new PolyJet 3D printing process, giving you unique, bespoke models ready to delve into any dungeon as part of your next campaign. Everything from one-off player characters to dungeon mobs and boss-level monsters that will make every player in your group jealous. But that's not all. You can take things fully digital and export into leading VTT platforms such as Tailspire and Roll20 to take your games and your custom miniatures wherever you want. Join the adventure of a lifetime. Back our campaign today to help us bring this stunning revolution in custom miniature design to reality. With Eldritch Foundry, full-color 3D design and printing.
Welcome to Constructed Chaos, a D&D live play channel where you get to control the game. Join us on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central Time for our in-person live stream that allows you to influence our adventures in major ways, from alternate plot points to rerolls to absolute chaos. And tune in on Mondays at 7 for our brand new Chat Plays D&D format where you get to roll the dice and pilot the characters themselves straight from the live stream chat. And between it all, there's tons of homebrew content and guides that we release every single month. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. And until next time, go out there and make some chaos.
His touch burns away the dark with a soft golden hue. Your world is made anew. We follow the path you've laid.
Runaway friends, welcome back. Yay! Two quick announcements. One of them, you guys making me tie break. So for episode 53, there were tie votes for Mitra and Marcus.
Unite, the M's unite.
Fight.
God.
More.
Why not both?
I'm gonna go with Marcus.
Oh!
Marcus.
Va-va-boom.
Huzzah.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Huzzah.
So
Level 6, here we come.
win MVP.
Yeah.
Just consistency and volume of roleplay. Mitra didn't get enough to do that session, so
Just fine.
although going off and swimming was very good. I think that's why you got voted for. Because it's really relatable that a person would want to get that crap off of them.
Oh, yeah.
you know?
I'd be like, nope, I'm getting this off of me immediately. If those were pity MVP voice, which is totally okay, and I was
Smelly. Smelly points.
Oh, she's got all that gunk on her. Oh, man, I'll give her an MVP point.
Also, I did not explain the koala here.
I was actually wondering about that.
So we have a little Australian invasion going on. One of our dear friends that Tori and I have known for quite a while.
Yeah.
Ari is in town, and they come from a land down under. So there you go. And I am told convincingly that these koala bears are these clip-on koala bears are left for people that they enjoy. So
Kind of like an Arpo.
that's right.
That's great.
It's really cute. So I don't know how long he'll hang out, but he'll hang out at least this session.
There's just going to be more stuff on the screen.
So I mean, I always have
Like ducks at the.
I always have notes up here, so I may move him to like whatever the most important note is for me, to remember that.
Little note marker.
There,
Yeah.
not a bad idea.
Right?
That's a grim.
And we may or may. Oh, thank you. Yes, we Grim. Sorry, so sorry we missed you at the beginning because you snuck in there even before we'd started streaming, as is your wont, sir. So thank you very much for the 5 gifties.
Yippee!
And I know you're going to have to be leaving pretty soon, so I'm glad that we got that.
Yeah.
And we may or may not have another friend here.
Special someone.
Oh shit!
A special guest.
A very special guest.
I didn't.
No, Tobias was pointing out that there was another human in the room, and I was like, yeah, there is in fact another human.
We were all fascinated with the koalas.
Koalas in the room.
We'll play the wisdom there.
Time?
It's true.
Wait a sec.
Toby, I'm going to out you.
What up?
Your intrusive thought, because
No.
that was really funny.
No. Save it for the bone tone.
Okay, all right. There you go. Fine.
Patreon.
It was that there is a we're really on wavelength tonight because we did not coordinate this, but I knew what that botch was going to be on the armor. Okay, I'll leave it there.
That
for
was
now.
a soul read.
Yeah, it was. Okay.
I believe we have a candle.
Yes, we do. Indeed.
Dude.
Or it's not candy.
Ready.
Oh.
Playing with fire.
Candle.
Maybe.
Okay. Rally. Grab it.
There you go.
Give me my back. There we go.
It's okay. We got backup fire.
100%.
We got back.
So much
We
back.
got lighters everywhere.
That's like I feel like that's throwing the dagger toss to the assassin or something.
100%.
Just just out of
Make it
nowhere.
quick. Yeah.
Use it well. Yeah, that one is good. The initial one is good because it's flexible, but I guess it pooped out. Okay, onward, and
Upward.
Sleep?
we have sleep for some of you. When is everybody going to sleep?
Immediately after.
As soon as I sit down in front of that armor.
with one eye open, so to speak. Devin, you're long gone.
I'm going to see if the captain has anything to read, because I recently learned how to read. And I am really interested in just anything. It could be a kid's tale. It could be anything.
Ledgers.
I'll do it right here in front of you.
Darling, you have a
Strange fetish.
I know that we all kind of deal with grief and mourning in our own way, but I've seen a might fine bit of stuff in my time, but I gotta admit, this is a new one on me.
I'll aim to please.
Well, do you read just Dara or do you read Cavalier?
Maybe both of them.
All right.
Let's try.
I got some absolutely amazing reading called a Ship's Ledger.
It sounds fascinating. Can I see it?
It'll make your eyes bleed.
It make my eyes bleed. Will
Out
you
of
make my
boredom.
eyes bleed?
Here you go.
Please allow me to read this.
And you see columns of numbers with goods on, off, and debits and credits. And yes, and it's the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your life, Marcus.
You've traded with, where you've traded
All of a
with.
sudden, you know it now.
This is Doro.
No, that's Cavalier, darling.
Cavalier. I love it. I love it. It's great.
Well,
Slap. There you go. I'm good.
all right. Everyone holding up okay?
You know, it's right after the loss. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to be fine. It'll take a bit of adjustment. Wasa was with us for a long time, and some of us had just met her. So it's going to be a bit of adjustment.
She looks at where Wasa was at, keeping her voice low because Mitra's there. You know, it's always extra sad when it's the youngins like that.
I agree.
They never really had a chance to taste life, to know what it was like.
She knew a bunch more of life than we gave her credit for.
Maybe.
But I appreciate the sentiment.
She still could have used some more winters.
Agreed. For a minute there, I thought I was going to try to marry her off to my son. It would have been a poor decision, but I was excited for it.
I don't know. Having you as a father-in-law wouldn't have been so bad.
Now you're so look at you.
You should marry my son.
How old are you?
Not Marcus.
No, Antigone.
And
Thank you again for taking us.
Thank you. And actually, thank you for keeping that kid up there. Probably is going to be the Archmage of the world one day from having a hardened heart. He's going to leave all of us pretty soon on his own ventures, and I'm just glad that he's a better person for it.
I'm glad we were able to take care of Frankus.
It's the only piece of home he's got left.
Yeah, right.
And even though it's my damn dog, I have a feeling there's no, as you may have noticed, even before that thing was a demon pug, he already had a mind of his own. I have a feeling that he's probably going to go with Rex.
I agree. They're one and the same. They're a pair.
It does kind of tickle my brain a little bit that dog is already 16 winters and just plugging right along. But I guess stranger things have happened.
Maybe the dog is a demon.
It's the double switch. It's the double fake out. Okay, and then with that, she goes off to bed down. And you, Lord Vorn, are the last then of your people.
I think it'd be surprisingly burning the midnight oil, kind of going through Livia's journals about the Uralit and everything that Marcus mentioned, so he could become a lot more familiar with that, while also still trying to familiarize himself with the power structures of Leptis Regum. And he's just kind of there with Indra while she's kind of feeding him that information and him reading through.
Okay.
Kind of taking a lot more of what would Livia do in this situation, and it's kind of arm yourself a lot more with knowledge than it would be anything else.
Your brain is hurting, but you're still pushing forward. And you hear Lepidus Minor is sacked out next to you. almost sounding like an oversized pug himself.
Yeah.
And then
One thing that is funny enough that he does, truly, since like they were in barracks together as young as he just goes over, plugs his nose, turns it to the right, and then turns it up so it stops.
yeah, so he's not snoring.
Yeah, so it's just like old hat, you know, like. Yeah. And it's kind of talking through with Indra and all that.
She's keeping her voice low, and then, essentially acting as she has so many times with Vale as a second when they're trying to become appraised of a political situation, or the eve before a major battle, which in a sense this is. Ellery knows something huge happened, and he's there in his gentle, Kithki way. You hear him on very soft feet. He goes up. He looks into the cabin, comes back. Like this is over the course of the night, and then he too eventually goes to sleep. Indra looks down and she smiles as the Kithki head is in your lap, and he's gone. He's gone to sleep there.
I'd like to say you get used to it.
Before I went out with them, out to face the Utini, I thought them much like my mistress. I thought them silly, even ludicrous. And yet, they are the bravest of us, aren't they?
The city would not be without them. And if you bleed with someone, they become,
Your dream. Is it yours now? Can you feel it in your bones and your sinew? Is it what you breathe?
I feel like I've stepped out of a child's book. It's what I hold in my hand and what rests on my shoulders. It has to be so. If not, why would she leave?
Why indeed? Did the ones who came before you, did they do enough? Or were they foolish, or weak, or fearful?
I believe you have to do all of that to do something right. You have to take every part of yourself, including the weakness, bravery, fear. It's the only way to do something that's worth it. You have to do it as you are.
My lady and I have seen much of the world. Things that are fantastic, some almost unimaginable. We have never been in a situation where it is possible, even likely, that soon you and I and she will be on different sides of a battlefield, Domini. Surely this thought has crossed your mind. It has hers.
It has.
It haunts her.
Haunts me as well.
Well, we're here and now. I can help you memorize them. And so it goes. And in the wee small hours, actually, I'll say, as the roseate fingers of dawn stretch forth, you hear, "Ahoy!" and the ship slowing. Your captain turns to you, Yersinia. Captain Aeolus. And he says, "Well, that's a nice one it is. You thinking you recognize any of that?"
What am I seeing?
You're seeing a well-maintained, but well-maintained and well-loved, both, trireme, making its way southward at an unusually fast clip.
Have I seen this ship before?
Slowing. You know what? There is a chance.
Or can I see anybody on it that I do recognize, or at least by description?
You're close enough now. Make a, I guess the closest roll would be make a history check and see what you're remembering. remembering from
What do I remember?
the second greatest port city in the
Remember.
world? What you remember?
She remembers a lot.
A lot of
Remember a
things.
lot.
Remember a lot.
That's a
She
24.
forgot, but
That's
then
a
she remembered
24.
Okay. Nice
Hooray.
tenure at the table.
So you
First roll.
first. That's a good.
That's a good first
Yeah.
roll.
Yep, that is. So you're glancing over and you're like, oh, that ship, and the Frankus, with the obsession with its mascot, with its pug mascot. You see, I love the way you say that name, Cindy. It's so adorable.
That's how I'll greet him
Yes.
if I ever met him.
And you remember much of their tale because you had gotten a good chunk of it as you decide, was it Vale herself, Indra, or you who invited them to dinner at one point and met the captain and talked. There aren't that many completely independent veteran female chosen, so they tend to know each other.
Maybe Indra.
Indra?
Because lately she's been a little bit more out of the house. And I've been running the household slightly more
Yeah.
than the past.
Okay. Okay.
That makes sense. So I've met the crew before?
You have at least the captain and the captain and the first mate. Yeah. Was Rex with them by then? Maybe that was the very beginning of the Rex arc, the Rex era on the Frankus. So you just remember this foul-tempered, brooding boy who was a powerful will worker nonetheless, and who you had to pretend wasn't a will worker because you didn't need to annex hyperventilating, which is your equivalent of the College of Mysteries in Leptis Regium. Okay.
I recognize that ship.
Well, why is it not surprising to me then, huh? You know so many other things in that brain of yours.
A few.
So,
This should be the ship I'm looking for, actually.
all right. Well, I won't fight that. Been enough. The sooner I get rid of you, the sooner things go back to normal. Or what passes as normal around here.
Cargo.
You call your life normal. Oh.
So as there's an intricate dance that goes on as the two ships signal to one another to come alongside, and in a pretty, be your captain because they're going with the river. So they keep each other. You've been a frequent passenger on ships at this point in your career, Melissa, your character has, but you still know that there are many intricacies of an unspoken language that goes on between them, and somehow they signal to each other the friendly intent, and then so this one comes up, loops around the Frankus is slowing, and
So
then
they're both going downstream.
yeah, so they're both going downstream exactly, and your captain is quite skilled, manages to match speed, and get close enough, get into within easy bellowing distance. Let's see, you're below decks. Although this is, I don't know,
If it was morning, I'd probably be up with Indra.
you might have just slept. Yeah, you snatched a couple hours of sleep, and you'll nap during the day as you need to. But you come up, and so you're catching maybe the end of this maneuver as you go by, with Antigone watching everything like a hawk, making sure that there isn't. Oh yeah, okay. That's
instant.
That's funny. Yeah, that there's not an incident, and then
She'll grab whatever. It's probably a small satchel of things she needs on the road,
okay.
and call her group that she came up with. Is she
Okay.
by herself, or there's at least a few people?
Oh,
she brought?
how many from your choice? Because you're actually leading the household right now.
Probably a small group.
Okay, 2 or 3
Yeah.
that came with you. Okay, and
Move
aw,
faster with less people.
Defiant Chaos just gave us 5 gifties.
Appreciate you.
And Antigone says, "Oh my stars and garters, Ricinia, Get your sweet hide over here, girl.
She just lets out a laugh. It's good to see you too, friend.
Indeed. Well, darling, I have a tale for you and a couple folks who, well, I don't know. This will be interesting.
I do love to hear your stories.
Of course you do. You still do that thing on the rope, okay?
Of course.
All right.
Yeah, she was getting ready to ask her captain of like, do we need to just swing on over or what?
She lands a grapple on the side of the rail and then pulls it taut.
Oh, that's even better.
So cool.
I'll turn back to the few people that came with me and ask if they can swing on over or if they're good with this.
Shimmy.
They looking. We're gonna crawl.
Okay. And she will hop on the rope, just standing on it, and then walk on over.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
What an introduction.
Make an acrobatics check.
Please don't.
Not one. No. It'd be so funny.
No.
Please, it'd be so funny.
It's gonna be a total of 9.
That's still good.
That's still
Okay.
good.
Based on what you've rolled.
You're
I
about.
misjudged the ship's moving.
You misjudged and you start to go make a dex save.
Okay.
I think you have proficiency in dex, right?
Yes.
Dex saves. Okay.
13.
Okay, so you just managed to keep yourself from dumping in the drink, and a bit chastened and humbled, you lower yourself, give yourself another roll.
Okay.
That's a fancy.
I tried. 16.
Okay. So
I manifested that first roll
better.
there. That's kind of great.
so Scooted. There's some friendly. There's some Antigone's giving you some friendly crap. Right.
Rusty?
She says, "Don't worry, darling. I'll tie it off on this end if I need to. If that's a little bit too much wobbling," and you just lower yourself and then
Yeah.
get across. Boop. Well, there you go. How about the rest of them? And you see, you would have picked pretty athletic members of the household. You're not.
Yeah, and at least a couple who know the outdoor wilds better than I do.
Okay. You have like a survivalist guide.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
It's all about the planning.
His name is Julius. Julius the guide. He was the one who said we'll crawl. And,
Crawl. Thank you very much.
He's trying to look cool before.
but, yeah, he has. But he is making sure that the other two are okay. So he ties everybody to each other as they shimmy across.
That's smart.
And eventually, as this is going on, you spot who all the hubbub must be about. And as the various characters see you, what do they see? You want to describe yourself?
I am Ricinia. You see a fairly petite, 5.5 foot, pale-skinned, light-skinned young woman who is probably actually very similar age to Titus. I think she's 17 by now.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's got this brown hair. She's on the plainer side. If you do see carefully, there's a little bit of scarring on her cheek and neck. But she's got some loose-ish kind of clothing. Very flowy, moves with her. But she's got clothing basically and bandages wrapped around her arms down to her wrists.
Like samurai.
And it doesn't look like she's wearing armor. It's all dark blues, grays, very blend-in kind of clothing. And she's also carrying a quarterstaff. But overall, she's got like really good posture. She carries herself very well. But she also seems to be just very like, okay.
Matter of fact.
Matter of
Yeah,
fact.
if Titus would have seen you struggling on that, he would have went up to that side of the ship to like try to help out. Just anyone crawling across who obviously hollers out by the captain. It's like, I should probably help this person.
And as you get closer to it, Antigone turns to you, and she says, "Oh, Domini, don't deprive me of one of my few entertainments in life." I won't actually let any of them drown, but it's kind of funny to watch them struggle.
I will keep that at the very front of my mind.
She winks at you.
Yeah.
And you know what? It kind of makes sense to me because of what Indra is to you. And she was watching your form as you were going by. So you were doing.
That's what she was trying to show off.
You were
at
doing
first.
fine. You were doing fine at first.
Yeah.
And then when you finally get there, Indra gives you a small bow, and
she definitely returns that.
yeah,
So for anyone's watching, there's like a deep respect there.
Are they dressed the same?
and she tells you, next time,
Similar?
next time, Ricinia, use the staff to balance.
Of course.
So,
Good to see you too.
indeed, much has happened since the last time we spoke.
Yes, and I want to hear every last word of it.
Not all of it is going to sit with you well, probably. It certainly didn't me at the time, but here we are.
And she kind of quickly glances over at the tall, red-haired guy.
Okay.
Who's that?
You ever
And looks back at her like it's quick. With like a, is it because of him?
And there's a subtle. It's lower than this, but just you can see it over the GM screen. Just a little. And close to you. Okay, so Indra looks over. All right, Julius, do you need help? No, ma'am. We're okay. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
It's not gonna make it.
It's fine. I love that.
And the poor person behind him, we're not gonna make it. Yes, we are.
Just kind of looking back, eyebrow up at the captain, just being like, it is. Just like, I am
City
kinda
will just
chuckling
kind
now,
of
too.
walk back over, and she can't physically help them that much, so she's just going to be like, just focus on the rope. Hand over hand, foot over foot.
And eventually, the rest of your poor beleaguered people.
She helps direct some footholds, and as they get back on the ship.
Okay. Awkwardly managed to get up there. By this time, more and more of the fellowship is rousing. Devin, you're vaguely aware of this, but obviously you're going to be sleeping in a lot later than you normally would. But you know that there's some kind of hubbub going on. And once everyone is there and collected, and returns, Domini, I would like to introduce Ricinia. She is both the seneschal pro tempore of the household while I am gone, and my student.
Well, man, I'm Titus. Yeah, Titus Metellus, Gladio Vaughan.
She does a proper bow.
Anyone of House Vale is welcome anywhere we are.
She was deeply involved in the incident that my mistress alluded to that happened last winter. It was a grueling event where the creatures were attempting to come from some other space and infiltrate the city. She did.
And he bows in like a lot of respect for that. Takes a long time to then open the cup.
Okay. Julius and the other two were huffing and puffing and they're clinging to the rails and glad for that to be gone. Your Captain Aeolus looks over at you and just gives you a tick of the chin, exaggerated tick of the chin, and
She'll nod back.
he ungrapples, chucks it back, and Antigone starts reeling it back over to the Frankus. And Ferengiboy, and the eponymous Ferengiboy now has 4 more victims and sources. So you have this hybrid pug who has a bit of a face, run up to you and immediately, fearlessly stand
I
on
think he
you.
would probably be hands down my favorite one of the whole group.
Yes! Yes!
Sunny is definitely a dog person.
Yeah, that tracks. That tracks.
So she would basically get down and be like, just scoop him up.
As soon as he sees that he has a pliant victim, he kicks with his back legs and he gets completely in your arms. Then,
Like a
and then he just-
baby.
and is like trying to burrow inside of you because it's wet. It's a little wet right now, and you have warmth. You have warmth and shelter.
That's true.
You'd get under your
So
skin.
yeah,
if you could.
she's got it's almost like this robe kind of thing happening with some of her clothes because it's loose.
Gonna swaddle
And
it.
so yeah, she's just gonna drape it over just to kind of keep some of the heat in.
It's ideal. It's ideal for a pug with
Absolutely.
absolutely zero sense of personal space.
She's fine with it.
Oh,
She'll hold him for as long as he allows.
Rex is watching all of this. You takes you a second to remember his name, then it pops into your head, and he's like, "Traitor."
I almost had to say.
A little bit.
Taller than I remember.
The snout moves a little bit underneath the swaddling, and then goes back.
Shh, don't listen to him.
You're a precious baby.
You're my baby.
You're belonging to me now.
I guess we have to grow. I guess we all have to grow, huh? Good seeing you, Rossini. I'm glad you're, still alive and all that.
Same too. And there's a little bit more serious tone to her.
Yeah, she's chosen.
I saw as much.
The last time we had a little spar, she kind of kicked my ass staff to staff. But I have been practicing, so maybe there'll be a rematch, huh?
All right.
All right. Okay. Good.
As long as that's a promise.
Oh, you're making it easy. So the day lightens, and the captain confirms with you that you're on track. You're going to make it. You actually should make it maybe a day early from when you, even with the brief stopover for dealing with the Frankie boy situation. Where do you want to collect everyone, if you do?
I'd probably, knowing that it would be quite sensitive information, that I would call to the captain's quarters. If Mitra was awake and everything like that.
She's probably already in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you roust Devrin? Get him up?
Yeah.
Or do you leave him be?
No, he would, Titus would walk over and get down on one knee, kind of grab him by his shoulders, and then just be like, "On your feet, boy." And then I would kind of pick him up just real quick. Yeah.
Domine.
Come. And I just start walking away. Like, you should know this responsibility.
Are you just gonna? Okay, you just kind of
I'll waddle.
walk after. Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst waddle.
Yeah. No.
Zombie waddle.
Exactly.
Waking up.
You go down. One of the Brixus gives you a water skin to splash your face and wake up a little bit as you go down there.
I
And
just take in the gander and the kind of who's there and
okay.
yeah.
Your group is reconvened minus Antigone and Brixus. Like Antigone, Brixus, and Rex are staying up and kind of doing their thing. They're letting you convene unimpeded, and you can already tell that Antigone's mind is on what awaits her. You can feel Rex. All of you can feel Rex, not necessarily pulling away, but beginning to steel himself to leave, as is inevitable.
Yeah, knowing it's his story's coming.
Yeah, knowing that
perfect sense.
the heroes converged, and now the heroes must. It was a brief
break off. Yeah.
and continue. You get down there, and Indra stops addressing you in her native tongue, which you speak pretty well at this point, and she switches to Daro instead. And she says, "Well, I suppose the full story will have to wait, but Domni, of course, whatever you think is the most important information, you came on your own recognizance?
Yes, to find you and the lady. Last I heard, you were going to war with Utini.
Yes, about that. Well,
Where is she?
She wanted to travel separate. She wanted to take the long road. But she will meet us back, Leptis.
Oh, Weissam, Domini. We won. We found the way.
I was assuming that you would have known that if you follow Vale. Can't imagine her to lose.
Unfortunately, Restinia's been... Your information and the ability to communicate has been difficult. It is not ideal. How you were left. I did not anticipate being up in Geramentum, let alone on the eastern bank of the Kogi and deep into Utini territory.
I know that if you were drawn away, it was for important reasons.
Still,
Do not underestimate my lady. Do not underestimate me either.
Good. She trusts you.
You're going to be at the summit then?
I think that's wise.
I'm debating, do you think Flavius is safe to be running the household?
For a short while, he should be fine.
Certainly.
Yeah, totally.
Your other person.
Your other Flav.
Left too long and he will make too many changes.
That one, always with the changes, yes. Always with the ideas. It's true.
Ambitions.
So, do you think, if you were the Seneschal, do you think that I could stay there at the summit, or do you think I need to go back to Leptis Regium and get that household under control and fully defended?
I can get it ready for whatever we need, if you are needed elsewhere. But I do not yet know the full story of what is happening out here.
True. Let me consider that then. And once you know the tale, you can consider your options as well, Ricinia. Hopefully, this summit does not devolve.
As a player, do I have any information about the summit that they probably don't?
Yeah,
Would I be bringing fresh info from Leptis region?
there's a number you would.
Secretly.
Essentially, yeah, and essentially in character, if you pass that along to them.
Who's going to be there?
You have at least a educated guess, much more than they do. So, you know that the dread Lady Planner is going to be there, and also that
Some church.
of course the church representatives are going to be there. You know that His Grace. I'm not going to go into all the names right now, so I'm just sticking with stations for now. We'll do that potentially next session, kind of the deep dive on that. But you know that His Grace, the primate of Leptis Regium, the head of the Church of Light there, in fact, in the whole region, not just for the city, he has firmly declined to participate in the summit. Mm-hmm. And that raised some eyebrows.
That's taking a stand. Yeah, she would share.
Yeah.
Share that information.
So instead, they are sending one of their most revered sages in his place. And you, Titus, and I think that's it. You, Titus, recognize the name of the church rep. Mm-hmm. He is, and this is a deep cut now, he is Brother Adrian's mentor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, of course, for our faraway friends, Brother Adrian was the twined soul with Katrin way back, an OG person. Yeah, that kid.
Pretty bold.
Find a portrait on the Darkeport Patreon.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Tobias. Mm-hmm. And you think you would be surprised if Adrian himself, Brother Adrian himself, who's like considered a rising star in the church, in the third light of of the intellectuals, is not also at the summit.
What was the name of the mentor?
Hold
Okay.
it for now. But I'll get you all that.
Sweet.
Because you know me, once we go down that channel, they're just going to be names. It's a lot. They're going to be names galore. Yeah.
List.
It's a lot.
Get your quill ready.
So we have you basically, and then the magistrate major and his formidable wife are both going to be in attendance as well. And of course, that means a not inconsiderable chunk of the city apparatus, of the bureaucracy of the city, is also going to be there.
Senators.
So the most important news, aside from the fact that His Grace is not going to be attending, is probably that, from what you can tell, and this would have been a whole mini arc of your own, as you ran around and dealt with the skullduggery and politics of Leptis Regium. The church and the civilian government do not seem to be getting along with each other very well. And then
That would be an
I
important
remember
thing
Vale
to bring up.
mentioning that too.
Yeah, and you just
Calling
kind of
for the
confirm that.
people.
And then give me your best, either persuasion, intimidation. I'll even take performance. Give me your best social deception. Give me your best social.
Best shot.
Yeah.
Fire away.
And let me see. There's one other chunk of information I want to see if your character gleaned as she was running around.
So intimidation, persuasion, and what's the other option?
Performance or deception. All your strongest stuff.
CHA.
Right? They're all the same.
Okay, which one are you rolling on? Because it will flavor the info.
Who am I doing this to?
This is kind of like you trying to...
Retroactively.
Oh, retro.
Yeah, trying to get political information.
Anything
The
like
general
dangerous.
approach you would have taken as you're getting
I would imagine
She
intimidation if you're like intimidation.
Are you persuading?
Persuasion, probably.
Okay.
If she's got to choose one of those, probably that one. 16.
16?
Nice.
It's not terrible. It's not bad.
It's not too bad. No, it's
not a nat one.
Crossing a road.
Okay, and my counter roll is quite poor. Okay,
goody.
that's good.
So much.
I made a best. I'm sorry. It's only
When it counts.
So, two of the pain points right now between the civilian administration and the church are there is a quiet but intense fight about who has dominion over the impure monobenders. So traditionally the church, of which of course, different character, you're Agrippa. So go see Dark of the Moon. Wow. Nice one shot featuring Yersinia. After his death in that climactic defense, when you actually saved Lady Vale and that whole thing, there was quite a bit of fallout over that, and the church was outraged that one of its resources, one of its assets, had been deployed without its say-so. And so there's a fight that's coming to a head right now over them. And of course, the monobenders are one of the unique resources of Leptis Regium, because that's where they originated. Or sorry, the impure monobenders are one of the unique resources. They're like, it's the one thing that y'all have that they don't have even in Fang Prime, in the million plus person capital of the Empire.
It's the water.
And then the other piece of gossip.
Goss, hot goss.
Yeah,
please.
this is
Gossip.
is that there was some sort of scandal amongst the Template, and somebody was and this, you, even with that role, you don't quite have all the details, but somebody was sleeping with somebody else's wife amongst the Template, and now there are it had something to do with the spy network of His Grace. So you're not sure if these rumors are fabricated, if it happened, if they were caught in the act, so to speak.
Okay.
But there's some hard feelings between the Template, who are the military arm of the church, and
Rumor or not, it's creating division.
yeah.
Real Housewives of like.
Honestly, I'd watch it.
Who wouldn't?
I'd watch it. I'd watch
That's a
it.
spinoff we've been waiting for.
Check out for next week's one shot.
Whereas up until fairly recently, the Template and the Beacons were were in lockstep with each other. But it now looks like there may be a schism internally there.
Not a
Okay.
schism.
Not a schism. So anyway, you relay all of that, and we can perhaps drill down on like some of the names because you would have
I would have some of that.
you would have some of that. Yeah.
So are you saying this information is particularly the part about the Monomenders out loud to the information session?
I am, but I'm also simultaneously wondering, like, have we done
I was going to do an
introductions?
introduction for all of you guys to
Visually,
introduce
So I was asleep
I
behind a
have
crate.
not seen anything like
I
it
was
before.
fully out, fully asleep. Nobody woke me up. I heard people coming downstairs. That's
Oh,
what I
I
was supposed to
would've-
be like.
yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm awake.
I would have gathered everyone.
he
just
But
didn't
I
know
was just like
everyone was to
listening
do it.
behind the crate, and that's the part where I would like sit on top of the crate.
Well, they were below decks. So.
That's where I was sleeping. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So you found yourself a little.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna sleep
was in
behind
his
a
old
crate.
dragon's
Like I didn't want to
nest.
be.
My whole, the whole reason why I wanted to have it in the captain's quarters was to go through and kind of sweep the
and
ship
sweep
for everyone.
everybody.
Yeah.
I was trying to be tucked away. We can say you found me, or maybe
Oh,
you
yeah.
missed me.
It would have been one of those. I'm like, kind of this Dragon Boy kind of popped up. Crate, PC talking, not Donnie talking, not
Sure.
But yeah, I would have wanted to do after introductions and stuff like that, and kind of to cover all you, Tini. I would have wanted you guys to go around the table to introduce yourself to Ricinia and who you are to the Fellowship. But Titus is not going to speak on your behalf. That's not how gerrymandering is.
That's not how he rolls.
Yeah.
So at least if the information about the Monomenders was being discussed, that's when Grip would choose to speak up. If we're getting to that point.
Okay. Actually, let's go ahead and run through the introductions. So, as you had started, Indra says, "Well, no, my manners. There's
Yeah. If you are House Vale, this is House Vaughn. If you please introduce yourselves.
Well,
don't all rush to speak at once."
I am Marcus, the emissary of Waya. In step with
I know that name.
Domini here. Right, we are part of the fellowship together.
It's a long story. I believe all makes sense.
Yeah. Hi.
He is a true cleric. I have seen it. I did not believe it
A
either,
true
but
cleric.
I've seen it now.
It's what the church wants.
Waya gives me abilities to do things. Grace or will.
Goddess of justice.
And an inability to lie about it.
I don't like lying. Ain't like that much.
It's part of justice. Apparently.
Apparently.
Being truthful, honest, yeah, gonna. Yeah. And then we have you.
Reprieve to Mitra. Nice to meet you.
You are not from around here, are you?
I would say I'm a little bit new to this house. But they let me in anyway, like a stray cat.
Congratulations on your promotion.
Not that I already needed it, but it was on my own free will, I promise. Nice to meet you.
Devron gulps. I am Devron from Zahal.
His sister was the advisor to Lord Warren. She is passed now, just recently. Very recently.
You see a sadness come over her face. I am truly sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
And the creature skulking around over there, who thinks I don't hear him breathing.
I wasn't trying to hide. Grip.
He would look to you like an impure.
Just
like a weird impure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be quite like, what is that?
So I am studying her reaction because I want to gauge what she thinks of me. If she thinks I'm impure or not.
Make an insight check.
Nice.
That is the thing. That is the thing I have been waiting for.
I'm gonna help you with that, actually. I want to help you. I want to help you.
What do you, are you trying to control your face when you see him?
I mean, probably in the normal amount that she's being, polite in meeting
Like composed.
people. She's being composed.
Okay.
She's not being quite as relaxed.
I'm gonna give you a passive deception score then.
Okay.
Yeah, as you just keep your composure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just composure, but she's not like
Grip,
trying
if you
to be
don't get it, I
stone-faced.
definitely do.
Well, I won't be able to. We can have a chat about that later. I got 17 minus 2 for 15.
15.
Natural 20?
Nat 20. Okay.
So 27.
27. Woo! Because you be a little intrusive creature over there.
Oh,
Just
yes.
looking. Okay.
You could say I have an eye for detail.
All right. 2. Yes. 2.
Thank you. I try my best. No one else does it.
So Mitra, not only do you catch that she sees him, is slightly taken off guard, and then you can almost see her finding a category to put him in. But she is trying to be composed and polite while she's doing that.
Okay.
There's probably a very slight,
And none of your
And
retinue's
then-
here, just you, right?
Yeah, it would just be
Yeah, the others are.
Hidden prejudices.
You're
I see.
it's not prejudice, it's like,
unknowing.
They know how this chosen stuff works.
can I go ahead and say that she would probably
On a 27, yeah.
take that as a almost scholarly curiosity?
Oh, okay.
Not a judgmental thing.
Ooh, I like that.
It's not judgmental, it's curiosity.
There is a little twinge in there because the last Impura that you were with was one of your comrades.
Well, the eyes would probably throw her off. Do you have the slit eyes?
They are, as I described them, suggestively reptilian.
The eyes, if he locked eyes with her for a second, that would be the most
Oh,
And I think, to be fair, he's been looking at you to gauge your reaction, having been put in a box by Leptis Regium types before as an impure, to see if that's what you think he is.
oh.
Okay.
So
I would say she doesn't think that.
Okay, so unknown.
She's
doesn't push her
seen
challenge.
impure before, and she's seen a couple other things,
Yeah.
And it wasn't, yes.
and he's neither of them.
I'm going to say the eyes are what do it for you.
And impure don't really have scales,
No.
Yeah.
so
I mean,
they can.
they could, in theory, because it's an arcane mutant. So
Okay.
in theory, but it would be weird. Even for an Impure, that would be weird. It's
She
basically
hasn't seen it though.
it's basically this world's version of a tiefling. So
Yeah.
Period.
yeah.
You can just briefly see Mitra scan you up and down,
That's fair.
as in just I don't know, trying to get a read on you, but then you see kind of okay, and that's it.
And then Titus will look over at Grip and also at Mitra and be like, they grow on you. And be like, this is that need for the meeting.
Welcome.
I'm almost saying that she would see a reaction of me to her, but she would also see a reaction to what he just said.
Okay. Well then, student, report. And then that's when you go
Tick through.
Yeah, tick through, basically catch up. And Indra, in turn, no nonsense, as you, Melissa, the player, know the campaign.
She hits the high points.
Just in quick, broad strokes, catches you up on
That
this-
dog right there. Yeah.
She's still holding him.
Yeah.
Stroking
So
Frank.
congratulations,
Yeah.
you've been seduced by a demon pug, Rosinia.
It happens to everyone.
A former demon pug, a recovering,
Not to me. And
a recovering demon pug.
I would say I'm all right with that.
Vessel.
At least recovering.
You've always had questionable taste in men, but all right.
That's fair.
Indra, can I ask a question? Why would His Grace choose not to come when faced with the possibility of who I am?
plausible deniability when they try to assassinate you.
Well, there's that.
Quite direct, but yes.
Also, if he isn't quite that ham-fisted, then... Well, if he was a pious man, I would tell you that he doesn't want to risk his immortal soul, but we all know that's a crock.
Right.
So, more likely, He's going to want to see the lay of the land. Remember, it's a delicate dance. Everybody wants something different from each person. The magistrate, of course, wants the city to be reincorporated into the greater empire.
They want collars on necks at the same time to have us kneel to them. And we don't.
Is that why the city and the religious arm is not getting along? Because they don't want to and he does?
Well, they never get along.
Not
But
really.
on the surface, His Grace is going to give out whatever platitudes he needs to. However, deeper than that, yes, he's a prince there. He doesn't answer to anyone. Not effectively not. I mean, technically he's under the primate of the capital of Fang Prime, but in reality, no, he does what he does as he likes. He interprets doctrine as he likes. Until very recently, he uses the Template as he likes. Although apparently there are issues there now too.
Which is good.
So everyone wants something else. The Lady Planner, well, she is, by many estimations, the keenest political mind of her generation. If she was a man, she would probably be the emperor. And instead, she controls... there isn't an easy way of explaining what typically a Lord Planner or a Lady Planner does, but essentially she is responsible for coordinating the logistics and engineering thrust of the Empire. It's a position that wields tremendous power and access to information.
So she is the one in charge.
Ultimately, yes. Ultimately, remember,
That depends on who you ask.
the magistrate she is going to report to His Majesty. She is going to, technically she's an advisor to him, but in reality, if she tells him, do not take the city back into the fold, it's not coming back in.
A puppet master.
So, actually, yes, that's a fair thing. The current emperor he's sadistic, but he's a weak man, fearful, easily swayed by those of persuasive tongue or keen mind. He likes his entertainments, and aside from that, he essentially just takes up space and soaks up Sesterce on the Sun throne.
And one thing that is clear after conversating last night is that they only believe that numbers can win.
Of course they do. All men like that think that it would happen like that.
Unfortunately, they have history on their side to prove it.
Right. And we ain't got the numbers to hold off that many of them. No. So he might actually be right here.
Stoke the fire. Create a distraction. If they're distracted amongst themselves, there was a delay, then coming for us, no, my lord?
A house divided could fall. Knowing this could hopefully help us out in some of that regard, but it would be extraordinarily delicate.
But with a singular enemy or threat that they all perceive as a threat,
that's
they
the
can
problem.
Unite.
And I believe that would be...
Us.
Yes.
The most interesting tidbit, though, Rosenia, from what you said, was that the wife is coming with him. Ovidia. That's a little surprising. I mean, we've all known that she's his partner in crime, and at least is equal mentally, but to actually declare that, to have her there instead of after the fact, that's bold. Something has changed in his household. That she would come openly like that to the summit in real time.
Maybe your good example is rubbing off on people.
Let's not go that far.
I would second that.
Domini, remember that there is no easy way to say this, and with everything, it was one of the things I was going to speak about last night, but obviously they are expecting your lady sister there. And if not her, then they will push, that was debated, but they will push to have her betrothed to the son of the magistrate major. An intelligent lad. You've met him yourself, you've seen him. He's actually going to be a capable administrator, but obviously beholden to his father. I do not know how you wish to, as head of House of Orn, I do not know how you wish to navigate that. House Vale's official stance, of course, in all of this is neutrality and ultimately loyalty to His Majesty. It has to be.
I know what my sister would do, and I will act in kind.
Understood.
Would that bring peace, as undesirable as that outcome is, just for curiosity's sake? Surely they wouldn't accept that.
But
I don't feel as though you know my sister very well.
no, I mean to say that they would accept peace solely because of the betrothal to your sister.
I don't think that she would accept the betrothal.
I
don't think she would.
Conditionally, Grip, it could. I know you're not familiar with the Empire, at least the current corrupted version of it, but that is often how these deals are actually signed and sealed. The problem, of course, is that they would insist on at least the Kithki being enslaved.
See, that is the thing.
And
not to mention people who can read.
And as Gesto, your lady sister did have a very canny workaround with that, though. She was going to expand the ranks of the scriveners within the city who are an exception to the rule of the secret of the word being a capital offense. So,
but there is no exception to slavery.
As far as the Kithki, you have to understand, the Kithki are not considered people in their eyes. They are considered, at best, assets, at worst, property.
How would they stake a claim if we are not to be incorporated into the Empire? We would still be a separate entity that they would demand we follow their laws?
A colony, even.
They destroy us.
They would march on us and do that.
They don't care too much outside of our
The
export.
Empire only knows control.
Well, I know it. But
they're going to find their bellas causes. They're going to find their excuse. In fact, I'm sure that
even
you're going to hear...
betrothal, they would still try to subjugate us.
That was what I believed.
So?
But the magistrate major is desperate to join the ranks of the patricians. And so...
the union will do that.
And again, that is thy decision, Domni. But it gives considerable leverage. Any child of that union would be patrician. And never mind that it's the mother and not the father. The blood of that line is so close that, anyway, you understand.
It blurs.
And if he somehow became sick, who would replace him eventually?
He who?
Magistrate of disease or something.
Oh, well. A good question. Prima facie, probably his son. But there are any number of candidates that were sworn.
They always have someone.
There's always at least 4 people eyeballing whatever position of power you have.
That delay things.
And half of them would be willingly slit your throat.
Would they be delayed for a while figuring that out?
Not long enough.
I agree.
Oh. I see. If an accident were to happen to him, well, it would certainly be disruptive. And I'll tell you this, that magistrate is no fool. You'll feel him when he's in a room. He's not the equal of a patrician, of course. He can't be.
We are not the same as Leptis Regium. We are not the same.
I will not kill in the dark.
Yeah. We're going to start a whole thing now.
Just speaking of time.
I appreciate it.
If there is a war, I will be one of truth.
If there is a one, then my people would be...
Truth.
And there will be one.
About justice.
Would they acknowledge his faith, his status, his position, not as Lord, but as...
Bellator Sanctus.
It's going to be hard to actually disavow that sword and what it can do.
They will try.
They will
But it
try.
can bring
hard.
truth.
Of course.
Agreed.
Can bring understanding between minds. If the right mind touches that sword.
Grip. These are good.
Agree with him.
These are good thoughts. But the truth of the matter is, they don't want the truth.
But it sounds as though the people do.
It's very scheming.
There are layers and layers and layers to this. There is a reason I was not raised in the Empire, but it is mighty, but it has lost itself.
Is there...
They will do whatever they need to do, lie however they need to lie. They will tell you that the sun is red and that the earth is blue if they need to.
If
There are
one...
people who will believe them.
If one of them were to become a true believer, humor me. If one amongst them could become a true believer.
In what camp?
A patrician?
Within the city, within the administration, within the church, I'm not sure.
It depends on where. Within the church, where patrician, a regular person on the street, there's
It would
a
have to be a
completely
strong enough
different result.
person who had enough resources and clout that their shift would bring others.
And we are the people to bring that cloud?
Who is the one?
It would have to be the church. And
It
high
would
up.
have to be the church.
His Grace would kill anyone who be like cancer amongst them, would it not?
Someone would have to declare that there is an additional god or another aspect of the Lord of Light.
Yeah, it's called the Numina, and we're going to get into that in a minute. And yes, that might be a way of being able to do this. We convince whoever the representative that they send down to us that Waya is a Numina of Quailithon, one of the Pantheon. You scoff. Well, I don't see you offering up any more.
Just saying, thousands of years of religion, you're not going to convince them of...
Yeah, but it wasn't me who came up with the idea of Numina. It was one of their own beacons.
Marcus...
He's a bug compared to the...
With respect...
Fairies, no?
Devon, please. There'll be enough arguing with them. I will not have us argue amongst each other.
Apologies, I am not here to sow dissent. I merely want everyone to go into this eyes wide open.
Trust me, my eye is already open.
She tries really hard not to smile at the unintentional pun and largely succeeds.
She's picking up what she's putting down.
Erasinia, do you know if the lady's younger cousin is going to be there? That young Lord Vale we haven't met before? He is.
Who will be there?
Yeah. I think his name was... He had an exotic name. I think his name was Tristan. It's not the proper Empire name, but he's a handful.
I guess I can ask both of you this directly, but would you have thought that House Vale would have aligned with me?
No. Politically, no.
But what have you seen? If there are people that are true of heart, they might be willing to go with what is right.
Permission to speak as Lady Vale's seneschal and unvarnished.
As always.
They think she has gone insane.
We do.
There is talk that she has been ensorcelled. There is talk that her femininity has finally overwhelmed her ability to think and reason. There are many slanders.
Yeah. I'm sure that what they say about me is not probably us.
Well, they say that you're a devil crawling around on a ceiling, but that's to be... Everyone understands that that's what you do with your political adversaries. What I'm saying is that Lucretia Darquinia Domitia Vale has gone into territory that would have been this time last winter Domini unthinkable. And she has played fast and loose even right now, even by riding down and pretending not to see His Majesty's summons for gods only know how long. I'm afraid for her.
So am I. But changed her mind. We can change others. I don't want bloodshed or war.
In Leptis Regium, as you well know, right now, House Vale is... The official stance is neutrality, but anyone with a brain in their head knows that she's inexplicably backing you at a bid for independence.
Which is a very dangerous position for her to be in.
I think we're all in a quite dangerous position. But if we can change one mind, we can change another. And I know for a fact that my mind was changed by faith.
You may say you do not want bloodshed, but by being different, you will require it.
If
You
that's
will
what's
incite
necessary,
it. Just by standing.
I will not kneel.
And there will be war.
And we will fight.
Is one death worth saving thousands?
Yeah. Yeah, the ends don't justify the means. I'm sorry. I can't get around that. I can't.
Nor I.
And I ain't gonna get around it. We will not be poisoning or plotting the death of some... You know what? I've said my piece.
And that is what we want.
Ricinia, you of course understand your function. The sage.
Really?
He's in the realm of the possible, Grip. The sage. Yes, the one who is going to represent the church. His grace is impervious. I don't care what you do, the magistrate major is not going to admit that he believes.
But if Brother Adrian went with Katrin, we could already have had our way in.
That may be. And the sage, it's not his proper name, but he goes by Longinus. I know I said no names, but there you go.
There you go.
That's your...
Thank you.
That's your cookie.
That's a treat for you.
Don't ask for more.
Bye-bye.
Not my girl.
Big life far away, friends.
You would think of them as tales.
He has annotated those tales.
So surely the name Concord would resonate.
He has a vast intellect.
And Spess.
You might even recognize it on sight.
And
Would that be enough to convince people?
Yes.
It's the feeling of this. It's convincing him to touch it and to share your essence with him.
No, that's not going to be enough. Just seeing it, they're going to have a reason why everything can be explained away.
And they won't even touch it, because if they touch it, they could be put under undue and outside interference that will
Perhaps
sway their attention.
brainwashed, so to speak.
Perhaps touching it though.
Suicide, yes.
In truth, Domini, when I came up, I thought my lady had lost her mind. And then I got it, and I understand. And as insane as it is to hear myself say this, I suppose I believe in this dream. I've seen the power of it. I felt it. I've seen you battle a horror from a bygone era so that a pug doesn't have to be killed.
Just in the absorbing.
And you know what? You were right. You were right. You do offer, yes, it will be painful, but maybe it actually is a better way. I did not know that existed in this world. Not really. Only in bits and pieces, only in individuals, not an entire city? No. And anyone with eyes to see knows that that city of yours is going to double and triple and quadruple in size very swiftly. Have you not noticed? Almost every day there are more ships coming in than out. The magistrate major's coffers reflect that. He knows.
Say it here. I will not hide, nor kneel, nor make these conditions. The light has been given to us, and we will stand in it.
Can we face them head on?
Not
Face them
now.
with ourselves.
Is there a way that would be more attractive for Lectus Regium than rejoining the Empire? Thriving trade and their own independence, not having to pay taxes.
The history is too long.
I would not begin to know the mind of that scheming man who leads them, but your lord is probably, or the lord is probably correct. I think that it has been the dream, his dream, twisted reflection as it is, to rejoin them and to essentially run all the way up, probably all the way up the Riverlands.
My grandmother's dream was not. Her dream was freedom, and it's all ours. We will ask for peace and independence. And if they do not see it as so, then we will show them why we stand alone.
Yeah.
There will be nothing else aside from showing them who we are.
You need allies.
We do.
They will come.
My people are there as we speak.
And I know that Rutilius is somewhere else as well.
The Death Namers will have your back for as long as we need to. Unless our goddess says otherwise.
Speaking of truth, so sorry, probably shouldn't mention those. That would probably be a step too far.
No.
Our visitors, our residents.
I would advise not mentioning them, and I would say that we are just passing through.
Or neglect to mention them at all.
That I'm just a researcher. Which I am, technically, but...
We stand in the light. You stand with us. You are known. If they want to put a chain on Ellery, I won't allow it. Nor will I allow them to not tell us how to think.
But you would consider a tactical advantage. Your enemy knowing your strength negates it. It's not...
Keep certain
There's a
cards.
difference between admitting all the truths that you know
There is some
and saying the ones that are the most important without admitting certain details.
Is that still a lie, emissary?
A needful lie?
Needful lie.
If your dream is to survive, you must be smart about this.
You know, if
We
we...
either need to be small enough that they think it would be a laughable excuse to go up the river, and you have no resources that they could gain.
Or just in a small number.
Or shock and awe.
You have such a large enough force that they should be afraid of you.
And we don't.
You are neither yet. You are somewhere in the middle. But they don't know that.
I think ambiguity is key.
I agree. For my people, we're numerous, but dwindling as it is. I would say keep us...
We have a pact, but we do not have them as citizens of Terramentrum. I only speak for my people. So I will speak for my people.
Understood. No, we do not control the minds of people and the assumptions that they make. We are not going out of our way to make them think that. Thus, I do not believe it is a lie in this situation.
Marcus of Pollux, I do not envy you your position.
I do not.
Nor do I.
Nor
For
do
it is
I.
no man that you will have, that you, and you, Bellator Sanctus, will have to answer to if you're wrong.
We answer the same. And it is our God.
She will let me know when I'm starting to stray in places I should not. I do not think she's going to let me know that.
Yeah. So will she down at Concord.
So, I'm so sorry. I have to take a moment to break this. Thank
Breaking
you
news.
so very much, Ruby Rod, for the $50.
What
Ruby Rod!
100 people watching us tonight.
Come on, man!
I very much appreciate that, brother.
Holy shit.
Go!
Wow, y'all.
Quite the
That's
important,
humbling.
interesting episode.
That is kind of humbling. Well, y'all, we're not going to do better than that. So, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, we are humbled. That is
I forget the cameras are here.
freaking amazing. And we are, this is a good time to say, because of various scheduling issues and other things that we are working out production side, and we are going to work them out. We're going to have a good run of Curse of Strahd.
Of Strahd!
I am very proud of that table. It's a different vibe, but the play is excellent. Obviously,
Everyone is wonderful.
the setting.
It's delightful.
Yes. This human over here is our producer for that table.
No, go
love
watch
that.
it, please.
Yes. So enjoy that, and by the time we get back, we will be back from Gen Con.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we're gonna make a point of being in the chat every every time that one of those episodes air. So that's a lot of fun because normally I don't get to be in the chat and the players don't get to be in the chat.
We'll have 200 people watching us.
We'll have 200 people watching. So go spread the word. Hey, if you have some friends, Curse Strahd, and we're only about 10 or so episodes in right now. I think they're published. So like it's not crazy, and they do tend to run a little bit shorter. So if you want to catch up, now is a really good time.
And a special few episodes of Wisher and Willie's Wonderful Wild Mind Adventure will be available by the end of this month.
As soon as that happens, Donnie's been cooking on that for a while and been hurting those cats, and that has been.
You get to see me wear a silly hat.
So ridiculously fun.
August 1st will be the first few episodes.
And Melissa and Sydney, you were both in those,
Yes,
right?
we
My wonderful
were.
travels and my amazing Cerise
I have not seen those, so I can't.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna love them.
Oh my god. Yeah, we
See me lose my mind.
full
sitting right
costumes
there.
the whole time.
Somebody else who is not this person gets to be up here. I love it.
It's a barrel of laughs.
And
Oh
you
my
get to see Donnie being his natural, silly, ridiculous
Comedic
self.
Yes.
It's very hard to
I'm
do.
so mean to this man. All right, so we could go on all night. But obviously we have a lot of energy in this room. Y'all, seriously, 100. That's crazy.
Thank you for
talk.
being
And
here.
We love it. We love it. It's been a road.
Yep,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much. And as you go on about your I almost said dream. So stay safe and stay curious.
Our dreams.
Bye.